Izraelovi napustili tvoj savez, srušili tvoje žrtvenike i pogubili mačem tvoje proroke. A ja, jedino ja sam ostao, a oni traže život moj da mi ga oduzmu. Na to je rekao, izađi i stani na gori pred Gospodom. I gle, Gospod je prolazio, a pred Gospodom silan i snažan vjetar koji je parao gore i lomio stijene, ali Gospod nije bio u vjetru. A nakon vjetra bio je potres, ali Gospod nije bio u potresu. I nakon potresa bio oganj, ali Gospod nije bio u ognju, a nakon ognja tihi, tanani glas. I tako se zbilo, kad je to čuo Ilija, da je plaštem svojim zastro lice svoje, te izašao pa stao na ulazu u špilju. I gle, došao je k njemu glas te rekao, što radiš ovdje, Ilija? A on je odgovorio, bio sam jako ljubomoran za Gospoda, Boga nad vojskama, jer su sinovi Izraelovi napustili tvoj savez, srušili tvoje žrtvenike i pogubili mačem tvoje proroke. A ja, jedino ja sam ostao, a oni traže život moj da mi ga oduzmu. Na to mu je Gospod rekao, idi, vrati se svojim putem u Damaščansku pustinju. I kad dođeš, pomaži Hazaela za kralja nad Sirijom, a Jehu, sina Nimšijeva, pomaži za kralja nad Izraelom i Elizeja, sina Šafatova iz Abel-Mehole, pomaži za proroka umjesto sebe. I dogodit će se da će onoga koji makne maču Hazaelovu pogubiti Jehu, a onoga koji makne od mača Jehovova pogubit će Elizej. Ali ostavio sam u Izraelu 7,000 svoje koljena koja se nisu poklonila pred Baalom i sva usta koja ga nisu poljubila.
Amen. I know that's a lot of text this morning.
Znam da je to puno teksta ovog jutra.
But we needed to see the story
ali moramo vidjeti priču
behind what I want to say.
Iza onog što želim reći.
Do you need a glass of water, Ruben? You're okay. Pomolimo se. Gospodine, hvala ti za ove dan i molim te blagosloviš ovu poruku. Ispuni mi Duhom Svetim i molim te, Gospodine, blagosloviš tvoju riječ što smo čitali danas i hvala ti da svi mi imamo Bibliju sad. Molim te, Gospodine, blagosloviš ovaj dan i sve molim se u Isusovo ime. Amen. Well, as many of you know, we just had a campaign in Zagreb.
Kao većina vas zna, upravo imali smo kampanju u Zagrebu.
And we all had expectations of what would happen.
I svi smo imali velike očekivanja što bi se moglo dogoditi.
We were praying for 500.
Molili smo se za 500 ljudi.
There was 105,000 John and Romans distributed.
Bilo je
105,000
poslanica
John and Romans.
Evanđelje po Ivanu i poslanica Rimljanama koje su podijeljena.
And about 95,000 invitations.
I oko 95,000 pozivnica.
And I do understand the invitations could have been bigger, the print, all that.
Ja znam da su pozivnice mogle biti veće.
I certainly agree with that. Don't disagree
Sigurno se
with
slažem s tim.
that. But when you pass out 100,000 invitations,
ali kad podijelite 100,000 pozivnica,
if only 1% came,
ako samo 1% dođe,
that's 1,000 people.
To je 1,000 ljudi.
Okay, so we were praying for 500, a half a percent.
Mi smo se molili za 500, to je pola posto.
I want you to listen to me this morning.
Samo želim da me slušate ovog jutra.
We had, as far as the Croatians that came that were visitors,
I imali smo koji su došli Hrvati, posjetitelji,
50.
Oko 50.
So that's about 0.1 or 0.2%.
To je oko 0,1-0,2%.
Not even close to half a percent.
Nije niti blizu pola posta.
And you would think just statistically,
I samo statistički
500 people would have came.
Smo mislili da će 500 ljudi doći.
Just out of curiosity.
Samo iz znatiželje.
Because they'd want to know what is this about.
Jer bi htjeli znati o čemu se radi.
And a free Bible.
I besplatna Biblija.
Everyone that would come would get a free Bible.
Svi koji bi došli bi dobili besplatnu Bibliju.
And so we all waited at the meeting for people to come.
I svi smo čekali na sastanku da ljudi dođu.
And the closer we got to the time it was going to start,
I kako smo se približavali vremenu kad će početi,
I started realizing we're not going to have 500 people come.
Ja sam počeo shvaćati da neće doći 500 ljudi.
And I know Brother Rich and I was a little discouraged a
Ja
little
znam da
bit.
smo brat Rich i ja bili malo obeshrabreni.
Now we smiled,
Mi smo se
we
smiješili,
acted happy,
mi smo glumili da smo sretni.
and I tried to preach as though there were 1,000 people there.
I pokušao sam propovijedati kao da je 1000 ljudi tamo.
Because there were 50.
Jer je bilo 50.
There were lost people in front of us.
To je bile, ti izgubljeni ljudi su bili ispred nas.
And so the program, the devil was all over the place.
I đavo je bio svugdje.
The guy who worked the sound system messed it up.
Čovjek koji je
The
radio
videos.
sa videom i sa projektorom je sve zezno.
And yeah, it was a catastrophe.
Katastrofa.
Then on the front row, there was a crazy lady.
I u jednom ispred redu je bila neka luda žena.
Really crazy.
Zaista luda.
And she was wanting to preach back to me when I was preaching
I ona je htjela meni natrag propovijedati kad sam ja propovijedao.
about Mary,
O Mariji,
the priest,
o svećenicima.
and I don't know, maybe pizza, I don't
I ne znam,
know.
možda o pici.
And so I tried to ignore her.
I pokušavao sam je ignorirati.
But my blood pressure was going up.
Ali moj krvni tlak je rastao.
And I was getting ready to ask Sam to physically remove her out of the room.
Ja sam skoro pitao Sema da je on fizički izbaci iz sobe.
But I thought, there are other people here, and if they see that,
I onda sam razmišljao, ali tu su ostali ljudi, ako oni to vide,
they might not think that's a good thing to do.
oni možda ne bi mislili da je to dobra stvar da se napravi.
And so I chose to just ignore her.
I ja sam odabrao da je samo ignoriram.
It was hard,
Bilo je teško,
but I succeeded.
ali sam uspio.
Amen.
And then we had the invitation,
I onda smo imali poziv.
and I thought not one person's going to come forward.
Ja sam mislio da neće ni jedna osoba doći naprijed.
We asked a few questions about if they were saved and so forth.
Pitali smo nekoliko pitanja ako su 100% sigurni da su spašeni.
And I think about 20 people raised their hands that they were not sure they were saved.
I bilo je oko 20 ljudi da su podigli ruke da nisu sigurni da su
The
spašeni.
Holy Spirit was speaking to people.
Duh Sveti je govorio ljudima.
And so we gave them the opportunity. We had rooms to the side they could go and hear the
I
gospel.
onda smo im dali priliku, imali smo sobe pored da oni mogu ići da čuju evanđelje.
And I didn't think anyone would come forward.
Ja sam mislio da niko neće doći naprijed.
Because you know how Croatians, they're worried about what people think, and unless they're watching soccer
Hrvati
games.
su dvume se, ne znaju, ne žele da ih drugi vide što rade.
Unless they're watching a soccer game.
Osim da kad gledaju utakmicu.
Then that's different.
Onda je drugačije.
But this one young man in the back corner.
Ali bio je jedan mladić iza u kutu.
Yeah, Ljubica was able to talk to him.
Ljubica je uspjela razgovarati s njim.
But when we gave the invitation,
Ali kad smo imali poziv,
he came forward.
on je došao naprijed.
And he gave courage to a few others.
I on je dao hrabrosti ovim drugima.
And I think there were about 7 that went to the back
Mislim da je bilo oko 7 ljudi koji su išli iza.
to hear how they could be saved.
Da čuju kako mogu biti spašeni.
And Sister Stefica, I saw her come in. She's there somewhere.
I sestra Štefica,
She was able to lead one young man to the Lord.
ona je uspjela privesti jednog mladića Gospodu.
So we had one saved
Imali smo jednog spašenog
that we know of.
za kojega znamo.
The one Ljubica talked to was assurance of salvation.
Jedan s kojim je Ljubica razgovarala je siguran u spasenje.
And Sam,
A trebao je sigurno spasenje.
and Brother Sam got to talk to a couple of crazy people.
I brat Sem je razgovarao s nekoliko ludih ljudi.
That's normal for him. I see him in the park all the
To je
time.
normalno za njega, ga vidim u parku
So
cijelo
me and
vrijeme.
him always, Brother Sam and I, we always get the crazy
Ja i
people.
brat Sem uvijek dobijemo lude ljude.
So, but we have a good time in the
Ali
park.
imali smo dobro vrijeme.
And, I left and I realized that, let me back up. I knew
Ja sam,
Croatia is a cold place
ja sam znao da je Hrvatska hladno mjesto
to the gospel,
za evanđelje,
to truth of the gospel.
za istinu evanđelja.
I knew that,
Ja sam znao to.
and you know that.
I vi to znate.
But I have to be honest this morning.
Ali moram biti iskren ovog jutra,
I didn't know it was that cold.
nisam mislio da je toliko hladno.
I didn't know it was that far away from the
Nisam
gospel.
znao da je toliko daljena od evanđelja.
My eyes were open.
Moje oči su se otvorile.
And, when you get into a situation like that,
I kad nađete u situaciji poput ove,
one of two things can happen.
jedne ili dvije stvari se može dogoditi.
You can let that situation discourage you.
Možeš dopustiti da te ta situacija obeshrabri
And you can live in discouragement.
i živjeti u obeshrabrenju.
Or you can look at the situation and learn from it.
Ili možete sagledati situaciju i naučiti od
And
toga
let that situation speak to you.
i dopustiti toj situaciji da tebi govori
And be challenged to do more
i da ti postavi izazov da radiš više
for the gospel.
za evanđelje.
To be more faithful.
Da budeš više vjerni.
Pass out more
Da
tracts.
više deliš traktate.
Be more confrontational to people.
Da budeš više
Where you talk face to face with people.
da više razgovaraš s ljudima.
Sorry, Ruben, that's a harder word. And you can let the situation cause you to do more for the Lord.
I možete da situacija dovesti do toga da radiš više za Gospoda.
Because you and I know
Jer ti i ja znamo,
it's a cold place here to the gospel.
ovdje je hladno mjesto za evanđelje.
Not to religion,
Ne za religiju,
but to the gospel.
nego za evanđelje.
Very few have found the truth in Jesus Christ.
Jako malo je našlo istinu u Isusu Kristu.
So I tell you this, when someone gets saved in the church,
I reći vam ovo, kad se neko spasi u crkvi,
I'm going to rejoice even more now.
ja ću se sada još više radovati.
When a visitor comes to church,
Kad posjetitelj dođe u crkvu,
I'm going to be more happy that
ja
they're
ću
here.
biti još više sretan da su ovdje.
Because now I know it's difficult to get people to
Jer
church.
sada znam da je uistinu teško dovesti ljude u
It's
crkvu.
difficult for people to get saved in Croatia.
Teško je za ljude da se spase u
So
Hrvatskoj.
I'm not going to be discouraged.
Ja neću biti obeshrabren.
I'm going to let the situation cause me to want to do more.
Ja ću dopustiti da situacija kod mene napravi da želim raditi više.
And be more excited about the things of God.
I da budem više radostan za stvari koje radim za Boga.
And when someone gets saved in our church,
I kad se neko spasi u našoj crkvi,
you'll probably have to forgive me.
vi ćete mi vjerojatno trebati oprostiti.
Because I'm probably going to have an excited fit. I'm going to, look, Samala, you can't translate that. I'm going to get so excited I'll probably run around the building.
Biću toliko uzbučen da ću vjerojatno trčati oko zgrade.
Run outside and scream, hallelujah!
Trčati van i vikati aleluja.
Because it's a big thing when someone gets saved in
Jer
Croatia.
je zaista velika stvar kad se neko spasi u
We've
Hrvatskoj.
had folks come and get saved in our church.
Imali smo ljude koji su došli da bili spašeni u našoj crkvi.
I didn't know how big that really was
Ja nisam znao koliko je to uistinu veliko.
until Thursday night.
Sve do četvrtak na večer.
When Brother Judith and Daniela walked the aisle when they came and got saved.
Kad su brat Jurica i sestra Daniela došli ovdje i bili spašeni.
I didn't know how big that really
Ja
was
nisam znao koliko je to uistinu veliko.
until now.
Sve do sad.
And I'm excited about it.
Ja sam uzbuđen zbog toga.
You that are in this church this morning,
Vi koji ste u ovoj crkvi ovog jutra.
we don't have 50,
Mi nemamo 50,
we don't have 100,
nemamo 100,
but it's a big thing you're here this morning.
ali je velika stvar da ste ovdje ovog
I'm
jutra.
excited you came to church this morning.
Ja sam uzbuđen da ste i radostan da ste vi došli ovdje.
You've decided God's important to you.
Vi ste odlučili da je vama Bog važan.
And so I'm not going to look at it and be discouraged.
Ja neću gledati to na način da me obeshrabri.
I'm going to let it touch me and do more for God.
Želim da me dotakne i da radim više za Boga.
I'm excited about the things ahead of us now.
Sad sam uzbuđen za stvari koje su ispred nas.
Back to our text quickly. Woo.
Natrag na naš tekst.
I want to talk to you this morning
Želim vam pričati ovog jutra
on this subject
na ovu temu
when discouragement comes.
kad obeshrabrenje dolazi.
Elijah was a man of God.
Eliza je bio Božji čovjek. In the
previous chapter, chapter number 18,
U prošlom poglavlju 18,
God used Elijah in a mighty way.
Bog je koristio Iliju na moćan način.
He alone stood for God and God used him.
On je sam stajao za Boga i Boga je koristio.
There were 450 false prophets and Elijah stood against them.
Bilo je 450 lažnih proroka i Ilija je stojao protiv njih.
And at the end of chapter 18,
I na kraju poglavlja 18,
God gave Elijah a great victory against these false prophets.
Bog je dao veliku pobjedu Iliji protiv tih lažnih
It was
proroka.
probably one of the highlights or the greatest days in the ministry of Elijah.
To je vjerojatno bilo od nekih najvažnijih dana u službi Ilije.
He had a great victory that God gave him.
On je imao veliku pobjedu koju mu je Bog dao.
But then we come to chapter 19.
Ali onda dolazimo do poglavlja 19.
And in the verse 2 in chapter 19,
I u stihu 2 poglavlja 19
we find a woman by the name of Jezebel.
nalazimo ženu koja se zove Jezabela.
She loved these prophets, these false prophets that Elijah had killed.
Ona je voljela ove lažne proroke koje je Ilija ubio.
And now she says in verse number
I
2,
sad govori u stihu broj 2,
Then Jezebel sent a messenger unto Elijah, saying, So let the gods do to me, and more also, if I make not thy life as the life of one of them by tomorrow about this time.
tada je Jezabela poslala Iliji glasnika govoreći: Tako neka mi bogovi učine i još i više, ako sutra u ovo doba ne učinim tvoj život kao život jednog od njih.
So here we are. He just had a great victory.
I sad on je upravo imao veliku pobjedu.
450 false prophets were killed.
450 lažnih proroka su bili ubijena.
And he had a great victory.
I on je imao veliku pobjedu.
And I don't have time to tell you that story this morning.
Nemam vremena govoriti tu priču ovog jutra.
But then we come to verse number 2 of chapter 19.
Ali onda dolazimo do stiha 2 u poglavlju 19.
And one woman wants to kill him.
I jedna žena ga želi ubiti.
One woman.
Jedna žena.
And what does Elijah do?
I što Ilija učini?
I mean, he just had 450 false prophets
On je upravo
killed.
ubio 450 lažnih proroka.
Well, he does what every man would do.
I on napravi ono što bi svaki muškarac
He
napravio.
ran for his life.
On bježi za svojim životom.
He just took off running.
On je samo utrčao.
And this leads me to our text this morning.
I to nas dovodi do našeg teksta ovog jutra,
It's found in verse number 4.
koji se nalazi u stihu broj 4.
Bible says, But he himself went a day's journey into the wilderness and came and sat down under a juniper tree, and he requested for himself that he might die, and said, It is enough. Now, O Lord, take away my life, for I am not better than my fathers.
No on sam je otišao jedan dan putovanja u pustinju, pa kad je stigao, sjeo je pod jedan klek. Tada je zatražio za sebe da umre, te je rekao: Dosta mi je. Sada, Gospode, uzmi moj život, jer ja nisam bolji od očeva svojih.
He had a great victory.
On je imao veliku pobjedu.
Now a woman wants to kill him.
Sad ga jedna žena želi ubiti.
He ran.
On trči.
And now we find him under a tree.
Sad ga nalazimo ispod drveta, ispod kleka.
And what does he say?
I što on govori?
I want to die.
Želim umrijeti.
I don't want to live anymore.
Ne želim više živjeti.
Discouragement had come to the life of Elijah.
Beshrabrenje je došlo u Ilijev život.
He doesn't want to go on.
On ne želi više nastaviti.
God had used him in many great ways.
Bog je koristio na mnogo velikih načina.
But now he's discouraged.
Ali sad je obeshrabren.
He wants to die.
On želi umrijeti.
He realizes I'm not better than my fathers were.
On shvaća da on nije bolji od njegovih očeva.
He wasn't wanting to die because of Jezebel.
On nije htio umrijeti zbog Jezabele.
He wanted to die because he ran.
On je htio umrijeti jer je trčao.
He didn't stand with faith.
On nije stajao sa vjerom.
He ran away from the problem.
On je pobjegao od problema.
And now he wants to die.
Sad želi umrijeti.
Wasn't because of Jezebel.
To nije bilo zbog Jezabele.
It was because he ran away from God's will for his life.
Nego zato jer je otišao od Božje volje za bježao od Božje volje za njegovim životom.
This morning I want to, for our Sunday school lesson, want to talk to you about what to do when discouragement comes.
Ovog jutra vam želim govoriti o tome što da napravite kad dođe obeshrabrenje.
Now I did not say if discouragement comes.
Nisam rekao ako dođe obeshrabrenje,
Discouragement will come.
jer će obeshrabrenje doći.
I've been here for 18 years.
Bio sam ovdje 18 godina.
And discouragement has come many
I
times.
obeshrabrenje je došlo više puta.
It will come to your
I
life.
doći će i u vaš život.
I guarantee you.
Garantiram vam.
It'll come to your marriage.
Doći će do vašeg braka.
It'll come to your family.
Doći će do tvoje obitelji.
It'll come to our church.
Doći će do crkve.
It'll come to the missionaries.
Doći će do misionara.
Come to the pastor.
Doći će do pastora.
It's going to come.
Ono će doći.
It's not if it will come.
Ne ako će doći,
It will come.
nego doći će.
So what do you do when it does come?
I što onda treba napraviti kad dođe?
I want to give you 4 quick things this morning
Želim vam dati 4 brze stvari ovog jutra,
that will help you when discouragement
koji
comes.
će vam pomoći kad obeshrabrenje dođe.
Number 1,
Broj 1.
When discouragement comes, remember God does care for you.
Kad obeshrabrenje dođe, sjetite se da Bog brine za tebe.
Now look in verse number 5.
I pogledajte stih broj 5.
If you'll read that, Reuben.
Zatim je legao i zaspao pod tim klekom. I gle, na to ga je anđeo dotaknuo i rekao mu, ustani i jedi.
Now Elijah's sitting under the tree. He wants to die.
I Ilija je sjedio pod deretom.
He's miserable.
On je
Bjedan.
bjedan.
And he wants, and now what does God do?
I što sad Bog je napravio?
He didn't criticize him.
On ga nije kritizirao.
He didn't say, what are you doing?
On mu nije rekao što to radiš.
No. He came and touched him
On je došao i dotaknuo ga.
and said, arise and eat.
I rekao mu ustani i jedi.
You need to eat something.
Trebaš jesti nešto.
God wasn't ready to hit him with a big stick.
Bog nije bio spreman da ga udari velikim štapom.
God knows discouragement comes.
Bog zna da obeshrabrenje dolazi.
So what did he do? He reached down and said, arise and eat.
I što je on učinio? Došao do njega i rekao ustani i jedi.
God cares for you.
Bog se brine za
He
tebe.
loves you.
On te voli.
You are important to God.
Ti si važan Bogu.
You've got to understand that. You and I are important to God.
Ti moraš razumjeti da smo ti i ja Bogu važni.
When we do good, we're important to God.
Kad radimo dobro smo važni Bogu.
And when we do bad, we're still important
I
to
kad
God.
radimo loše, mi smo još uvijek važni Bogu.
God loves you.
Bog te voli.
He cares for you.
On se brine za tebe.
And when Elijah was discouraged,
I kad je Ilija bio obeshrabren,
God said, you're important to me.
Bog je rekao ti si mi važan.
Now, hold your place there and let's find Isaiah 41.
Držite mjesto ovdje i nađemo
Isaiah.
Izaja 41.
It's right after Proverbs and that. Psalms, Proverbs. Okay. And Reuben, ti si brzi nego ja. It's verse 10.
Stih 10, strana 804.
Okay. Chapter 41, verse 10.
Poglavlje 41, stih 10.
Okay, može.
Ne boj se, jer ja sam s tobom. Ne daj se zastrašiti, jer ja sam Bog tvoj. Ja ću te osnaživati, da, i pomagat ću ti, da, i podržavat ću te desnicom pravednosti svoje.
See, God says, I'm for you.
I Bog veli, jer ja sam s tobom.
You're important.
Ti si mi važan.
I love you.
Ja te ljubim.
So that's our God.
To je naš Bog.
And when we get discouraged, He's for you.
I kad se mi obeshrabrimo, on je s nama.
You're important.
Ti si važan.
So God, I want you to know you are important to God.
Želim da znate da ste važni Bogu.
Now God will provide your every need when you're discouraged.
Bog će ti dati Bog će se skrbiti za svaku tvoju potrebu.
Back in our text, if you'll read verse 6, Reuben.
I natrag u našem tekstu stih 6. Na te on pogledao i gle, pokraj glave njegove bila je pogača pečenom žaru i vrč vode. Zatim je jeo i pio pa ponovo legao.
Okay. See, God, he looked and there was a cake there was food.
On je pogledao i bila je hrana.
God cared for him.
Bog se brinuo za njega.
And God will care for you.
Bog će se brinuti za tebe.
Now in Luke chapter number 12, and don't turn there, but Luke 12:24.
U Luki poglavlje 12 i 24.
We find there that the Bible says God will care for you.
Nalazimo ondje da Biblija kaže Bog će se brinuti za tebe.
Now, I don't have time to look at all the verses this morning.
Nemam vremena da pogledamo sve te stihove ovog jutra.
But that's where it talks about that God cares for the sparrows.
Ali to je ondje gdje govori da se Bog brine za vrapce.
Yeah. And God cares for you.
I da se Bog brine za tebe.
Jesus said, aren't you better than the sparrows?
Isus je rekao, niste li vi vrijedniji od vrabaca?
Yes, you are.
Jeste.
God feeds them, God will feed you.
Bog hrani njih, Bog će hraniti vas.
God cares for them, God cares for
Bog se
you.
brine za njih, Bog će se brinuti za
That's
vas.
our God.
To je naš Bog.
He will provide for you.
On će se skrbiti za tebe.
And then also, if we kept going in Luke chapter 12,
I ako dalje nastavimo u Luki poglavlje 12,
we'd find God has a plan for you.
mi vidimo da Bog ima plan za tebe.
Jesus said, there seek you first the kingdom of heaven.
Isus je rekao, prvo tražite kraljevstvo nebesko.
And all these things will be added unto
I
you.
sve ovo će vam se nadodati.
God, he said, seek first the important
On je
things.
rekao prvo tražite važne stvari.
You know, a lot of times we're seeking things that are not that important.
I mi često tražimo stvari koje nisu toliko važne.
Now, I know you all must work.
I ja znam da svi vi morate raditi.
Praise the Lord for people who work.
Hvala Bogu za ljude koji rade.
That's a good thing.
To je dobra stvar.
It's good you men, you take care of your families.
Dobro je da se brinete za vaše obitelji.
And I know in this day we live in, a lot of times the ladies are working.
I to za vas muškarce i znam da danas u ovo vrijeme i vi žene radite.
And I know you have to. I
Ja znam
understand
da
that.
vi morate, ja razumijem.
You're trying to put food on your table.
I vi pokušavate staviti hranu na vaš stol.
But I want you to know, seek first the kingdom of heaven.
Ali želim da znate, tražite prvo kraljestvo nebesko.
Don't let something else get in front of God.
Nemojte dopustiti da vam nešto drugo dođe ispred Boga.
God has a plan for
Bog
you.
ima plan za tebe.
And so when discouragement comes,
I kad obeshrabrenje dođe,
remember God cares for you.
sjetite se, Bog se brine za vas.
You're important to God.
Vi ste važni
God
Bogu.
will provide for you.
Bog će se skrbiti za
And
vas.
God has a plan for you.
I Bog ima plan za tebe.
Okay, the second thing this
I
morning,
druga stvar ovog jutra,
when discouragement comes,
kad obeshrabrenje dođe,
go to a place where you can hear the voice of God.
otiđi do mjesta gdje možeš čuti glas Božji.
Okay, let's say that one more time. Go to a place
Otiđi do mjesta
where you can hear the voice of God.
gdje možeš čuti Božji glas.
Back in our text, chapter
Natrag
19,
u našem tekstu, s poglavlje 19,
verse 9
stih 9
through 13.
do 13. Zatim je ušao u neku špilju i prenoćio ondje. I gle, riječ Gospodnja došla je k njemu i on mu je rekao: što radiš ovdje, Ilija? A on je odgovorio: bio sam jako ljubomoran za Gospoda, Boga nad vojskama, jer su sinovi Izraelovi napustili tvoj savez, srušili tvoje žrtvenike i pogubili mačem tvoje proroke. A jedino ja sam ostao, a oni traže život moj da mi ga oduzmu. Nata je rekao: izađi i stani na gore pred Gospodom. I gle, Gospod je prolazio, a pred Gospodom silan i snažan vjetar koji je parao gore i lomio stijene, ali Gospod nije bio u vjetru. A nakon vjetra bio je potres, ali Gospod nije bio u potresu. I nakon potresa bio je oganj, ali Gospod nije bio u ognju. A nakon ognja tihi tanani glas. I tako se zbilo kad je to čuo Ilija, da je plaštem svojim zastro lice svoje, te izašao pa stao na ulazu u špilju. I gle, došao je k njemu glas te rekao: što radiš ovdje, Ilija?
Amen. Verse 11 said, and he said, go forth and stand upon the mountain before the Lord.
Stih 11 kaže, Nata je rekao: izađi i stani na gori pred Gospodom.
He had to get to a place
On je morao doći do mjesta
where he could hear the voice of
gdje
God.
može čuti Božji glas.
Now, in
I
2018,
danas, 2018.
have you noticed that there are, most people are always on their phone?
Jeste li primijetili da su ljudi najčešće na svojim mobitelima?
Or there's always a TV or a radio?
Ili je uvijek TV ili radio?
Or there's cars and noise?
Ili auti i buka?
Or there's always something?
Ili uvijek nešto?
It's hard to hear the voice of God
Teško je čuti Božji glas.
when that's all we hear.
Kad je to sve što mi čujemo.
So sometimes when discouragement comes,
I ponekad kad obeshrabrenje dođe,
we must get to a place to where we can hear the voice of
moramo
God.
otići do mjesta gdje možemo čuti Božji glas.
God still speaks today.
Bog još uvijek danas govore.
He spoke in the Old Testament,
On je govorio u Starom Zavjetu,
spoke in the New Testament,
govorio u Novom Zavjetu,
and He still speaks today through the Word of
još
God.
uvijek danas govori kroz Božju riječ.
God still speaks through a still small voice.
I Bog još uvijek govori nam,
Verse 12 na kraju. Tihi, verse 12 na kraju.
Bog nam govori kroz tihi tanani glas.
Yeah. See, you got to be quiet,
Vidite,
still,
morate biti tiho, smireni,
to hear that voice.
da čujete taj glas.
When you're all busy and stuff, you can't hear it.
Kad se zauzeti sve te stvari ne možete čuti.
That's why go to the šuma, the woods.
I to je razlog zašto idete u šumu.
Get to a place where all you can hear are birds and
I da nađete mjesto gdje je sve što čujete ptice.
whatever else lives in the šuma.
I sve ostalo što živi u šumi.
Hear the voice of God.
I da
Listen.
čujete Božji glas.
Or find you a place in your house
Ili da nađeš mjesto u svojoj kući
that's quiet.
koje je mirno, tiho.
Listen for the voice of
I
God.
da čuješ Božji glas.
You've got to get to a place
Trebaš doći do mjesta
to hear the voice of God.
da čuješ Božji glas.
Elijah, when he was discouraged,
Ilija kad je bio obeshrabren,
God cared for him,
Bog se brinuo za njega,
but then God took him to a place
ali Bog ga je odveo do mjesta
where he could hear his voice.
gdje on može čuti njegov glas.
See, discouragement's going to come to you.
Vidite, obeshrabrenje će doći.
And when it comes, you've got to know God does care for you.
I kad dođu, morate znati da Bog se brine za vas.
And then you got to get yourself into a place to hear his voice.
I onda morate doći do mjesta da čujete njegov glas.
Even the Lord Jesus in the New Testament.
Čak i Gospodin Isus u Novom Zavjetu,
Do you remember he would get away in a mountain all night long
on je otišao na planinu cijelu noć
and pray
i molio se.
and listen for the voice of his Father?
I slušao glas njegovog oca.
Now why?
Zašto?
Because all day long the multitudes were around him.
Jer cijeli dan
Mnoštvo.
je mnoštvo bilo oko njega.
It's hard to hear the voice.
I teško je čuti glas.
So he would get alone
I on bi otišao da bi bio sam.
in a quiet place
Na mirnom i tihom mjestu.
so he could hear that voice.
Da može čuti taj glas.
Can I tell you, when discouragement
I
comes,
mogu vam reći kad obeshrabrenje dođe,
turn the television off.
isključite televizor,
Take your mobile phones and turn them off.
isključite mobitele
And get to a place
i otiđite na mjesto
where you can hear his voice.
gdje možete čuti njegov glas.
You don't need Facebook in that moment.
Ne treba ti Facebook u tom trenutku,
You need God's voice that
treba
moment.
ti Božji glas u tom trenutku.
You don't need something on the television in that moment.
Ne treba ti nešto na televiziji u tom trenutku,
You need God's voice in that moment.
treba ti Božji glas u tom trenutku.
So get yourself into a place
I otiđite na mjesto
where you can hear God's
gdje
voice.
možete čuti Božji glas.
Okay, the third thing,
Treća stvar,
when discouragement comes,
kad obeshrabrenje dođe,
know that God will be victorious.
znaj da će Bog biti pobjedonosan.
He's already victorious.
On je već pobjedonosan.
It doesn't matter what we do.
Nije važno što mi radimo.
If I stay here and serve the Lord in Varaždin,
Ako ja ostanem ovdje i služim Gospodu u Varaždinu,
doesn't matter.
to nije važno.
Now, it matters in some way, don't misunderstand me.
Važno je na neki način, nemojte me krivo shvatiti.
But God's still God, whether I'm here or not.
Ali Bog je još uvijek Bog, ako sam ja ovdje ili ne.
God still has victory whether I serve Him or not.
Bog još uvijek ima pobjedu ako mu ja služim ili ne.
And so, we must understand, God is victorious.
I moramo razumjeti da je Bog pobjedonosan.
And then verse 14 through 17,
Stihovi 14 do 18,
now we don't have time to read it,
nećemo ih pročitati,
but God tells Elijah what he's going to do.
ali Bog govori ili što će on učiniti.
And we see there that God already had a plan for victory.
I vidimo ovdje da je Bog već imao plan za pobjedu.
So when discouragement comes,
Kad obeshrabrenje dođe,
know that God will be victorious.
znaj da će Bog biti pobjedonosan.
God is never surprised.
Bog nikad nije iznenađen.
You and I are surprised.
Ti i ja smo iznenađeni.
Thursday night I was
U
surprised.
četvrtak na večer ja sam bio iznenađen.
I have to be honest, I was.
Moram biti iskren, bio sam.
God wasn't surprised.
Bog nije bio iznenađen.
He already knew what was going to happen.
On je već znao što će se dogoditi.
God already knew how hard it was here.
On je već znao kako je teško ovdje.
You and I are
I
surprised,
ti i ja smo iznenađeni,
but God never is.
ali Bog nikad nije.
So God is never surprised.
I Bog nikad nije iznenađen.
God is in control of every situation.
Bog je u kontroli u svakoj situaciji.
You've got to know that.
To trebate znati.
When discouragement comes,
Kad obeshrabrenje dođe,
know that He is victorious,
moraš znati da je on pobjedonosan.
never surprised.
Nikad nije iznenađen.
He's in control of every situation.
On je u kontroli svake situacije.
So we must simply obey and follow God's will and plan for our
Mi
lives.
moramo samo jednostavno biti poslušni i slijediti Božju volju za naše živote.
Now, when I was 25 years old,
I kad sam bio 25 godina star,
maybe 26,
možda 26,
God called me to come to Croatia.
Bog me pozvao da dođem u Hrvatsku.
It was a long time ago.
To je bilo davno.
Well, so far,
Ali do sad,
that hasn't changed.
to se nije promijenilo.
So I just learned Thursday night, it's very hard here.
I upravo sam naučio u četvrtak na večer da je vrlo teško ovdje.
So what am I supposed to do?
I što bi ja trebao sad napraviti?
Well, I'm supposed to simply obey and follow God's will and plan for my life.
Jednostavno moram biti poslušan Bogu i slijediti Božju volju za moj život.
When it's difficult
Kad je teško
and when it's not.
i kad nije.
Follow God.
Slijedi Boga.
And then the last thing today,
I zadnja stvar danas,
when discouragement comes,
kad obeshrabrenje dođe,
be aware that your situation is not what you think it is.
budi svjestan da tvoja situacija nije ono što ti misliš da je.
It's never what you really think it is.
To nije, uvijek to nikad nije ono što ti misliš da je.
Jezebel did not kill Elijah.
Jezabela nije ubila Iliju.
Now remember, he ran. Why did he run?
I on je bježao. Zašto je on bježao?
He thought she was going to kill him.
On je mislio da će ga ona ubiti.
So he ran.
I onda je on bježao.
But do you know what happens in 2 Kings chapter 2?
Ali znate što se događa u drugim kraljevima poglavlje 2?
Verse 11.
Stih 11.
Anyone know what happens to Elijah?
Znate li što se događa
Don't
Iliji?
look, ne pogledati. There's this chariot of fire. Kola,
to su ognjena kola.
and it comes down
I ona se spuštaju
from heaven.
sa neba.
And it just picks Elijah up and takes him up to
I
heaven.
onda ga uzimaju, pokupe I idu natrag u nebo.
Now, Elijah didn't know that was going to happen.
I Ilija nije znao da će se to dogoditi.
But Elijah, when he ran from Jezebel,
Ali kad je bježao od Jezabele,
the situation was not really what he thought it was.
situacija uistinu nije bila takva kakva je on mislio da
He
je.
thought he was going to die.
On je mislio da će umrijeti.
Now, what if he would have took his life?
I što ako bi on uzeo svoj život?
Or if he had just said, forget it, I'm not serving God anymore.
I rekao, zaboravi, ja više ne služim Gospodu.
Then there never would have been a 2 Kings chapter 2,
Onda nikad ne bi bilo drugo kraljevima poglavlje 2.
where God came down and got him in the chariot of fire.
Gdje je Bog sišao dolje I uzišao natrag sa Ilijom I ognjenim kolima.
So the situation was not what he thought it
I
was.
situacija nije bila onako kako je on mislio da je.
Jezebel did not kill Elijah.
Jezabela ga nije ubila.
Elijah was not alone.
Ilija nije bio sam.
Now, 2 times here he says, I only am serving you.
I on 2 puta kaže, jedino ja sam ostao, jedino ja ti služim.
2 times he said that to
2
God.
put je to rekao Bogu.
Only I'm the faithful one.
Samo sam ja onaj koji je vjeran.
Only I believe in you, God.
Samo ja vjerujem u tebe, Bože.
Only I want to serve you.
Samo ja želim tebi služiti.
Look in verse 18.
Pogledajte stih 18.
You'll read that, Reuben.
Ali ostavio sam si u Izraelu 7.000, sve koljena koje se nisu poklonila pred Balom I sva usta koja ga nisu poljubila.
It wasn't quite what he thought it was.
Nije bilo onako kako je on mislio da je.
God said, there's still 7,000 that serve me.
Bog je rekao, još uvijek je 7.000 koje mi služe.
There's still 7,000 who love me.
Još uvijek je 7.000 koji me vole.
You're not alone,
Ti
Elijah.
nisi sam, Ilija.
You may feel that way sometimes,
Možda se sjećaš tako nekad,
but you're not alone.
ali nisi sam.
And then if we kept reading,
I ako nastavimo čitati,
we'd find that Elijah meets someone by the name of Elisha.
I vidimo da Ilija susreće nekoga imenom Elizej.
Yeah. And he begins to walk with Elijah.
I Elizej onda počinje hodati s Ilijom.
Becomes his helper in the ministry.
Postaje pomoćnik u službi.
And then when Elijah is taken up to heaven,
I kad je Ilija uznesen na nebo,
Elijah takes over Elijah's ministry.
Elizej preuzima Ilijevu službu.
And he gets a double portion, a duple porcija,
I on dobiva dupli dio
than what Elijah had.
onoga što je Ilija imao.
They say he did twice as many miracles as Elijah. Twice as,
On
they
je
say.
napravio, oni kažu da je napravio 2 puta više čudesa nego Ilija.
You see, the situation is not always what we think it is.
Vidite, situacija nije uvijek onako kakvom se čini.
God sees the whole picture.
Bog vidi cijelu sliku.
We don't.
Mi ne vidimo.
I remember, and if I can close with this story, if I can close with this
Ako
story.
mogu završiti s ovom pričom.
I was in Croatia about 10 years, I guess it was.
Ja sam bio u Hrvatskoj otprilike 10 godina.
And I just really was discouraged.
I onda sam bio jako beshrabren.
And I don't know if I share this with Brother Ron or not.
Ne znam ako sam ovo podijelio ili ne.
But I wanted to quit.
Ali ja sam želio odustati.
I really did. I felt nothing's happening.
Ja sam stvarno mislio da se ništa ne događa.
And it just really felt difficult.
I stvarno sam se osjećao teško.
And And God gave me some things,
I Bog mi dao neke stvari
and I got through that discouragement.
I prešao sam to obeshrabrenje.
But it wasn't probably a year around. It was around that time
Ali bilo je otprilike u to vrijeme
that I met Djeda and Baka.
kad sam susreo baku I djedu.
Then Jurica and Daniela came.
I onda su Jurica I Daniela došli.
Robbie and Daniela.
Robi I Daniela.
And Agatha and Vladimira.
Vladimira I Agata.
And Dalen.
Dalen.
And now Dubravka's coming.
Dubravka je došla.
And I think, praise the Lord.
Ja mislim...
Oh, thank you,
Hvala
Agatha.
Gospoda.
Can I borrow? Može posuditi? I forgot about this. Zaboravio sam o tome. You know? Sometimes we just have to
Ponekad moramo
just be faithful.
samo biti vjerni.
When discouragement comes,
Kad obeshrabrenja dođu,
learn from Elijah.
učite od Ilije.
It does come.
Ono dođe.
We're human.
Mi smo ljudi.
It's not sin when it comes.
To nije grijeh kad ono dođe.
It's sin if you let it destroy you.
Grijeh je ako ti dopustiš da te to uništi.
So this is some things you can do
I ovo su neke stvari koje možeš učiniti
when discouragement comes to us.
kad obeshrabrenje dođe do nas.
Let's pray and then we'll have our little break.
Molimo se I onda ćemo imati pauzu.
Gospodine, hvala ti. Thank you, Ruben. Hvala ti, Gospodine, za ove dani. Molim te, blagosloviš naše ljude. Molim te, Gospodine, budi s nama I hvala ti za riječ Božju koji je moćan I djelotvorna. Molim te, pomogni nam da slavimo tvoje sveto ime. I sve molim se u Isusovo ime. Amen. Okay, we'll have a small break. Malo